Hi VC, this is Bev here, Clarkovision, and this is going to be my attempt at, well it's not going to be an attempt, it's going to be my review of 2019 and just a quick look back on the year, and I'll run through everything that I picked up that was released last year. Now, I'm a bit like Brendan Van Dee in this respect that I counted everything that I got that was released last year, and in total I've got about 33 if I include the two soundtracks that I'm not going to show in the video because they're kind of just more novelty things, but I'll mention them first of all. So one of the soundtracks was the Knight Rider original TV series soundtrack. That was a Record Store Day release earlier last year, which I was given as a gift. And the other one, the other soundtrack, was the new Moomin Valley animated series for the Moomins, and that was on a picture disc record as well, and I just picked that up as a kind of a novelty thing, isn't it? So these two kind of were more in the novelty, but they hark back to my youth and you know, hold good memories and all that stuff. But I'm just going to include the actual bands and music in here. And that's, you know, so I think Brendan Van Dee said he was somewhere around the 30 mark, and it appears I am too. Now, that's quite a surprise for me. I knew I'd bought a few this year, but I wasn't quite thinking it was that much. So 31 albums. Yeah. And what I will say about that is, for me, 2019 has probably been the most fruitful year of my entire life for buying music, for buying new music. I have never bought as much music in my life as I have in 2019, and I think that is down to a couple of things. One, the vinyl community has helped me get back into music, and I am now rediscovering music, going back to where I left off from back in the late 80s, early 90s. And two, I've been in full-time employment for several years, and so I now can afford music a little bit easier than back in the 80s as well, when I was a kid and didn't have a job. So these two factors have probably inputted. But on the other hand, I do feel that I overspent a couple of times. So I really need to kind of just be careful there and really just keep things in check. But enough of that babbling. Now also, I'm going to do my 2019 review based on the idea that Brendan Van Dee did as well, which is kind of, he did his in a sort of a type of ranking from, he ranked all his albums that he got out of 10, you know, from 0 to 10 I guess, 10 being the best and 1 being not worthy of a purchase even, you know, I guess, because he didn't show any ones and I won't be showing any ones either, but that's the way I felt I could do this better, rather than put them in an order of preference. Everything I've got here, it's all in my record collection because I like the music, or I love the music. So I like it all. So it was kind of tricky to sort of, it would be impossible for me to put them in an order, which is why the ranking system was a little bit easier. You know, I've kind of tried to group them in, you know, as a kind of a grading, and you know, at the end of the video you'll see my top album from the year, and some of you will probably already know that, what that's going to be anyway, but you'll be seeing it. So without further ado, this is 5 minutes in, and I'm going to get showing you. I'm going to try and not spend too much time talking about the stuff, or, you know, this will turn into another episode. But so I'm starting off with 3 disappointments. So these are kind of 3 that I was a little bit either disappointed with or let down with. Quite surprisingly, in a way, I guess, as well. Let me just double check. Are they all? Yeah, these are all vinyl, these ones. But the one that would rank the lowest, I ranked this about 5 or 6 out of 10. And it's this one. It's Enforcer Zenith. I've not had this one too long, but I have given it a good few spins to see whether it was just me. But I wasn't overly impressed with this, and I don't think for me it's anything to do with it's different from the previous albums, because I've not really heard any of the previous albums in full. I might have heard the odd song, but I haven't got anything else to compare it with against their own work. But this is Enforcer's, was it their 4th album, which came out last year, and I don't particularly like it, and I don't think I like the singer's voice. That I just wasn't liking. There's a ballad on here, and I can't. Is it Searching for You? I think it might be the song Searching for You, and I think that's horrible. It's just, I just don't like the song. It gives me a funny, eerie kind of feeling, and I don't know if it's a combination of his voice and the actual music for the song. But yeah, I was expecting this to be more exciting, a bit more in the vein of, I don't know, something like maybe what Bonfire did last year, perhaps. But then, you know, that was an amazing album, to be honest with you. So it would have to be pretty good to be up there with that, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, a bit of a letdown. Not impressed, and I don't really know if I'm going to keep this or not. I haven't decided yet. Let's see how I get on. So that was the first. The second one, this one is better, but again, I was expecting more, and this is Sonata Arctica's latest, and it's is it Telvio or something, which translates to white winter or winter or something, I don't know. But yeah, this is, I think, their 10th album. I could be wrong on that as well. But it's a very good album. Musically, it's much better than, say, Enforcer. I think it's a bit more, I don't know, interesting, I guess. But there's a few songs in here that I just wasn't overly excited about. There is a few good songs on here as well, so yeah, I would say that's not quite as good as what I was maybe hoping for Sonata Arctica, but you know, it may still grow on me. So, and the third one, which was a little bit of a disappointment, but perhaps that was my own fault, I don't know, was the Blind Guardian Twilight Orchestra and the Legacy of the Darklands. Now, I was dead excited about this when I heard it was going to be released, thinking this was going to be something amazing. And yeah, as far as being a Blind Guardian fan goes, it is not your traditional or your typical Blind Guardian. It is indeed, it's an orchestra. I was hoping, I knew it was going to be kind of orchestral, but I was hoping it might have been a bit more on the metal-y side, perhaps with a guitar at least. I've listened to this whole thing, and from what I can recall, I didn't hear a single electric guitar anywhere in here. So maybe I was expecting something like that, but no, I didn't get it. It's just your traditional kind of orchestra, and it's based on it's like a sequel to a book which is to do with this Darklands, and there's narrative, etc. in it, and it's the two boys, it's Hansi and one of the other lads from Blind Guardian who did this project, and they wrote the music, etc. And it's a full-blown professional orchestra. So yeah, it is really good. It's very great musicianship and all that, but it is not your metal in the vein that in the way we know Blind Guardian. So I think that I was maybe got my expectations up a bit too high, or I kind of maybe got a bit confused with what to expect, or wires crossed or something. However, I'll be keeping this anyway. It's something, yeah, I'd go back and listen to. It's kind of ideal if you just want something on in the background, to be honest with you. So, yeah. So that's the Blind Guardian Twilight Orchestra. So now we'll get on to the actual ranking parts. As I say, the Enforcer one would have been my absolute lowest. And the rest, again, like how Brendan worked his, I'm starting at 7. And working my way up to 8, 9, 10 kind of thing. So which means they're all good. If you're a 7, then it's a great album. It's a very good album. So as I say, everything here I've got because I like. So the first batch of 7s, I'll just go with some of the CDs I've got. This one is a VCLT, and it's Black Smoke Trigger. Now this is really good. I think it's 7 tracks, so I'm unsure if it was like a EP or mini album or just an album, but there's 7 tracks on it, and it was just released this year. And these guys are from New Zealand, and it was Nathan at Metal Down Under that sent this to me, and it's autographed as well. Just came out last year, and it's quite a very good kind of traditional hard rock, and there is a hint of a bluesy sound about it. So that is Black Smoke Trigger and Set It Off. And I'll put that alongside this one from last year, Core Leone and 2. Now this is Leo Leone, the guitarist and founder of Gotthard, the Switzerland band. And he's got a project going where he is re-recording a lot of the earlier Gotthard music and re-recording it with a couple of his friends, and he is having Ronnie Romero, he is doing the vocals, and he's doing a stellar job actually. He's got a very good range. So he's redoing some of the Gotthard stuff here, and again, this is it's your traditional hard rock in the sort of late 80s, early 90s kind of style, and it's solid, it's got a modern production, it's just solid guitars, drums, vocals, so it's a good one. Again, there's a touch of the kind of blues thing about that, but not too much, because I probably wouldn't like it either otherwise. So the next one up is Forlorn Hope, a British band, new band, kind of new wave of traditional or new wave of British heavy metal, and it was Cloudy Milder who got me interested in these guys. He sent one of their songs, was on a mixtape, and then he sent me their EP, which had some more tracks, and I really quite liked it, so I ended up buying their album, which obviously this is their debut album, came out last year. I think it's all self-released, and it's called Over the Hills, and it is your traditional style new wave of British heavy metal. It's like a concept album as well. It's themed on kind of old wars and historical events. And and it's very good stuff. It's a really interesting album, and I hope this band keeps going and brings out some more stuff. But yes, kind of epic sounding. I think Cloudy said that himself. It's kind of epic, classic metal. And the fourth one I've got in the series for this set is this one, Majesty. A lot of the bands I'm showing here are new to me, as I'm discovering loads of catching up on older bands, discovering loads of new bands, and this is a newer band to me. I think they've been around for a little while, but this was their latest release from last year called Legends. And this is power metal. I can't remember where the band is from, I have to confess. I think Germany, but I'm not 100%. And this, again, it's another sort of concept album. It's kind of tells, it's like an apocalyptic war zone you're looking at here. And it's kind of that. It's like a new generation rising up from the mess and kind of reviving things and starting new communities. And it's very much the uplifting anthem type power metal stuff, sing-along choruses and that sort of thing. Great guitar work, excellent stuff if you need to be, if you want to pick up. But yeah, I really quite enjoyed this album, and it's growing on me each time I listen. So it's Majesty. So back to vinyl for the sevens. This one came out last year on No Life Till Metal Records, and it is the album that Mass originally wrote in, 1982. It was supposed to come out then. Produced by Tom Allen. So it sounds a bit kind of early 80s smell, kind of, original US metal. It's got a great 80s vibe about it, but it was released through No Life Till Metal Records just last year, and this is excellent, really good stuff. Highly recommend them. Another new band, and again they're a new band, and this is Warrior Path, and this is self-titled. Sorry about the glare here. Self-titled by Warrior Path. These guys are from Greece, and this is new wave of traditional heavy metal, kind of epic stuff. You've got a kind of mixture of sort of faster songs and slower songs. There's one or two with good bits of acoustic guitar, but for the most part it's your kind of traditional metal, kind of hints of power metal in it here and there as well. So yeah, and this is on Symmetric Records and Monster Records. But yeah, so they come from Greece. Excellent stuff. They're on YouTube if you want to give them a listen. And another one on No Life Till Metal, which was a fantastic grab, a fantastic release. When I heard this was coming out last year, I was interested right away. So this is Helix, his latest, titled Old School. And of course, some of you will know that this album came from a collection of old demo tapes that were left lying around in one of the band's cupboards somewhere. They fished them out, had a listen to what was on them, and made an album out of this. It also contains the original guitarist, who's no longer here now. They've actually managed to use some of his work from the demos and put it on the actual album, which is really kind of nice. Nice tribute to him as well. But again, this is a great traditional sounding 80s metal. Again, it's got an 80s vibe about it. It's excellent stuff. This is one of the latest ones I got in. But it's Riot City, and Burn the Night. This has been talked about quite a bit by a lot of people in the VC. Excellent album. It's very, I think, definitely take a bit of inspiration for bands like Judas Priest, Raven, Demon, a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal influence I find about this, and certainly the singer's vocals are incredible. He has such a high pitch, and the reason this is it comes in at a 7 for me is because for a lot of the album he's registers up the top end, and he's got the high pitched vocals quite a lot, and just there's a couple of occasions where I was getting to the point where, oh right, enough, next song, give it a rest. But you know, just here and there, overall I think it's a great album. I really enjoy this, and it's very old school metal sounding. Riot City, I think these guys are they Canadian? Can't even remember. So many good bands come out of Canada, but I think these guys also, No Remorse Records, I advise you to check them out. Excuse me 1 second. So you're kind of getting to the higher ends of the 7s now, just missing out on the 8, I guess, and this one is the Rods, American band who've been around since, I don't know, late 70s. They decided they were bringing out a new album, which is this one, Brotherhood of Metal. I absolutely adore the artwork, it's just so metal. But yeah, so Brotherhood of Metal by the Rods. This is a fantastic album as well. It is classic traditional metal, again in the vein of the new wave of British heavy metal, that kind of idea, but it's obviously a bit more modern production. So yeah, really enjoy this one as well. I'm glad I've picked it up. It's my first by the Rods. I would like to maybe grab some of their older stuff too at some point. And another one, which again, another new band that I kind of discovered on YouTube, Elvenkin. Now these guys are from Italy. Again, I'm trying to get it so that you can see the cover without too much of the glare. This is Reader of the Runes, Divination. There is the title there. So these guys are Italian, and they're kind of folk metal. They're kind of folk / symphonic metal, but they use some more unusual or traditional folk instruments in amongst their stuff, but they've still got a rock solid power metal sound feel to their music as well. And I wasn't too sure about this when I first got it. I liked it, but I thought, but the more, it's one of these albums, the more I listen, the more it's growing on me. I really am enjoying this album. So again, fantastic stuff. So I think that's me. I'm about to sort of jump up to my number 8s now, so the ones that got an 8. Visions of Atlantis, another one that I'm new to this year. This is my first album from these guys, and it's their last year's release, Wanderers. Yeah, they are kind of symphonic power metal. They have a female and a male singer. They kind of share the vocals. Napalm Records. And I really enjoy this. This is fantastic. I thought this was much better than the Sonata Arctica one, and this was a lot more enjoyable for me. So I'm really pleased to have got this one. Again, definitely worth checking out. Next up, yet another band that's new to me, Crystal Viper. When I showed this in my update video, I said I couldn't remember where they're from. They're actually from Poland, this band. I think this might be my first release from a Polish band that I've got. I'm not sure. So yeah, Crystal Viper and it's Tales of Fire and Ice. Again, power metal, but a hint of symphonic, but they're mostly kind of power metal, and this is a female fronted band as well. Really good singer. I don't know if I mentioned before, they have a bonus track which is a cover of Alone by Heart, a classic. So yeah, another really excellent album that I'm enjoying. One that I simply had to get, Glory Hammer. This is their third release in their epic tale of saving the world and the universe and all that stuff, featuring Angus MacFife the 13th. Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex. This is really enjoyable, epic power metal, speed metal, with a very humorous kind of feel to the whole story and the lyrics. I think I've said before, it interests me a lot because of the Scotland connection. They sing about lots of places in Scotland. There's a great track on here. Is it The Land of Unicorns? You know, they talk about the mighty River Tay is featured in the lyrics on that one. Just a lot of great stuff on here. But yeah, totally worth getting if you're a power metal fan and you want a bit of light-hearted goodness. I've got quite a lot of power metal in here, as you'll possibly notice. This one, Majestica, another terrific, great album. I don't know if this was their debut, I think, as Majestica. This features people from other bands, I think. I can't even remember, but I think one of the Sabaton guitarists is in here. And it's Above the Sky. Again, really superb power metal, great vocals, just uplifting tunes, you know. Just fantastic stuff. Again, another great buy for me. So yeah, quite a lot of these are double. You know, I've got a lot of gatefold albums this year, and they do take up a bit more room. You know, you know, some of the lyrics in here are just really quite amusing as well. That's good stuff. The next one, as I say, these are in no particular order, they're just grouped into 7s, 8s, 9s and 10s. Screamer, another recently discovered band. Now if I'm correct, I think these guys are Swedish. I can't remember, but I think they are. And this is their 4th album. To me, this sounds to me more like what I was expecting from Enforcer, to be honest with you. But this is more based on the influences of the new wave of British heavy metal again. I mean, it says on the hype sticker they were kind of classic 70s and 80s metal, you know, so. And you do hear a little bit of the Judas Priest kind of influence or styling, a little bit of Iron Maiden here and there, just that kind of thing. But this is your new wave of traditional heavy metal, really good stuff, excellent guitars, just really good heavy metal. I do recommend that you check these guys out. I recommend you check them all out. Next one, another piece of brilliance. This is Canada. They're Canadian. Traveller, self-titled. Yeah, again, I discovered these through listening to them on YouTube. Thought, I'm loving this. This sounds great. Very new wave of traditional heavy metal again. Maybe a little bit like what Striker the other Canadian band, another one of the Canadian bands. A little bit of that kind of idea about their sound, but yes, solid, traditional metal, good songs, really good songs. So yeah, this is on Gates of Hell Records. Definitely good stuff. Definitely get that. There's another CD sitting there. So again, back to the power metal. This was one of my last buys from last year, and it came in late. The supplier, I think, the stock was delayed or something, but Crystal Eyes, Starborn Traveller. I got the CD from Amazon Germany because they had it earlier. And yes, this is fantastic stuff. Again, it's just sing-along, anthemic power metal. There's one or two songs on here that are kind of slightly differently styled, and they made me think about Kiss, something that maybe Kiss would do, or Quiet Riot. One of them is Midnight Radio, that's one of them. I can't remember what the other one is. Maybe it's Paradise Power, or I can't remember. I must have, or Corridors of Time. One of those. There's a slightly different vibe about these particular songs, and that's the bands that made me think of. So this is on Massacre Records, and it's a limited edition of 300 units. Very, very cool. Just Sweden again, you know. And in the high end of the 8s again, this was fantastic. Tigers of Pantime, just really good. Released in November. Ritual, brand new spanking album, solid singing album, just great. Heavy metal, absolutely great. Lots of solid songs on here. Probably the best thing I've done since back in the early 80s. I really do think you need to check this one out, people. So I'll put that in there. And yeah, closing out my 8s, I thought I would throw this one in as well. I had to give it a mention. It's a live album, but it's the Helloween United Alive. What a package, what a gig. I've still not yet viewed the video. I've listened to the audio, but just not had time to sit and watch it. But yeah, fantastic stuff. This is the earbook edition that I got with the CDs and there, and the videos and there, DVDs even. So absolutely brilliant stuff. So that takes care of the 8s, and yeah, well, yeah, I wasn't sure whether to stick this in the 8s or the 9s, if you like. And it's not a full album; it's an EP. That I just thought I'd pop it in because it's a new release for last year. One of my favourite bands, and it's Running Wild. And this is a return to form, I think, for them. Crossing the Blades, again, a Christmas gift, thank you very much. So yeah, you've got 4 tracks on here, 3 original Running Wilds, and you have a cover of Strutter by Kiss, which is a pretty good cover, I would say. It is slightly differently styled to the others, which are more traditional Running Wild, you know, the power metal, speed metal. But yeah, really excellent stuff. So if their new album, which I think's hopefully going to come out later this year, is going to be anything like this, it should be good. So definitely cool. Right, so into the 9s. So you know, you're talking about just you're almost perfect, but not quite. Absolute gem of an album, this Mirath, Moroccan band from the desert, and their album, which is it Shealy or Shealy. I really don't know how it's officially pronounced, but it's like Shealy. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. This is they call it their own thing. They call it Blazing Desert Metal, and it's a good name. It suits it well because it's kind of got that desert atmosphere about it. You know, they come from one of these sandy countries. You know, over in the Middle East, the Far East. I'm not 100% sure on the map where Morocco would be based, but it's very kind of elements of symphonic. There's elements of power. It's a bit classical, folky. There's all these kind of elements, but it's a solid, really solid, interesting songs. It's really quite refreshing. I mean, if you want something that is just a little bit different, this is one that you can check out. But yeah, so Mirath and their Blazing Desert Metal. There's not a lot wrong with this at all. It's just really refreshing. God. I'm sorry this is taking a wee bit longer, but yeah. We're more than halfway, I can tell you that much. Next up, an absolutely brilliant album from Diamond Head. Absolutely fantastic. This is a great album. This is solid. This is just traditional heavy metal. The Coffin Train. Diamond Head's the new singer they've got is a perfect fit, actually. He really fits. And honestly, Brian Tatler's guitar work and his songwriting, he's just one of these classic songwriter guitarists from from back in the day. You know, he's got a bit of class about on that man. And it shines through on here. Really fantastic stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Death by Design, what a great song. In fact, they're pretty much all great songs. So honestly, people, if you've not got Diamond Head's album, get yourself out there and get it. Another absolute piece of brilliance was this one, Pretty Maid's latest, Undress Your Madness. Again, this is one of the best I've heard for Pretty Maids. Again, I still have not heard all of their stuff, but most of it. But this is classic stuff. It's a bit like Kingmaker, their previous album to this. That was solid. This is solid as well. It is traditional heavy metal. It's kind of like, well, like some of their 80s stuff, but it's more modern sounding, very melodic in places. And obviously you've got the more modern production now. I would probably say Pretty Maids kind of gone slightly similar sound-wise in the way that Stryper have gone, because I know there was people talking about Stryper recently on a video. I think somebody said their later albums, as in their last three, are a lot more heavier and more solid sounding than the stuff from the 80s. You could probably say that about Pretty Maids' more recent albums. Certainly the last two, much more, a bit more heavier sounding, but still classic melodic hard rock metal. And I was really chuffed with this, really pleased. It's a very enjoyable listen. So Undress Your Madness. Yeah. Hope to see you out on tour soon, Ronnie, with the band. Again, more goodness coming. Another one that I got fairly recently, Blazing Stone. I've been wanting this for ages. Well, I think it was released about May or something. I thought I better grab it now because these are limited to 500, and a lot of Blazing Stone stuff can be tricky to get and goes up in price, so I decided to pull the trigger. And this was Hymns and Hymns of Triumph and Death. And I think, unfortunately, this is going to be the last album from Blazing Stone. But these guys, well, this is Running Wild tribute, Running Wild worship. Very, very much styled on Running Wild. So if you like Running Wild, you need to get this. It's not just quite as good as Running Wild, but they're very good. And it's on Stormspell, and if you're in Europe, it's Underground Power Records. Totally brilliant stuff. Fast, power metal, speed metal kind of stuff. Really, really melodic. Great stuff. More greatness coming. Yeah, this was another great find. Bloodbound, another band that I've fairly recently discovered. Swedish power metal. But yeah, this came out last year, and Rise of the Dragon Empire, I think, like some other bands are doing just now, I think this is a kind of, I don't know if there's like a theme, that's kind of a story behind it, and it's maybe the third part, so I think there's a couple before related to this, as in the story. But yeah, I thought the artwork was pretty cool on this as well, actually, I have to say. And this is fantastic, absolutely amazing, this album, I love it. This is, yeah, one of the higher nines. I mean, there's a song on here where the guitar solo gave me goosebumps. I could feel that feeling going through me, and the goosebumps came up on the arms, and I thought, my God, that's never happened to me for quite a long time, actually. It's just so nice. Highly recommended. It's Blackwater Bay is the track for that amazing guitar solo. Yep. Do check out Bloodbound as well if these guys are something you're interested in, as in power metal. Not too many to go, actually. Got about 3 or 4, I think. So next up, another brilliant record from last year, Beast in Black, which was formed from, I believe, the guy who who initially set up the band, and I forget what they're called, something to do with black as well, maybe. But yeah, he started that band, left that band, and made this one. Yeah, this is fantastic. I decided to pull the plug on it, and it's from Hell with Love. Again, it's another double album, but I found it kind of blew me away, and surprise, actually, and surprised that I thought it really sounded so good. I would describe this as dance metal, to be honest with you, because that's what it sounded like to me. A lot of the songs start off like you're going to listen to some electronic dance tune coming on, and then it goes into your full-blown metal song, but the structure of the songs are very, very upbeat, uplifting, dancey, you know. So yeah, dance metal. I don't know if there's such a thing, but that's what I would describe it as. And the guy that does the vocals, Yannis Papadopoulos, what a voice he's got as well. He can go up and down. He's got the range as well. But yeah, if you want something a little bit different, try these guys. If you want a bit of uplifting dance metal, I absolutely adore that. So yeah, and then we've got a couple more CDs coming in the 9s. Absolute gold. Eclipse, their latest album, after the amazing Monumentum that came out a couple of years ago. They've come out with this one, and it's is it Paradigm? I'm not too sure how that's pronounced either. Another fancy word. But Eclipse being Eclipse, they are just solid, upbeat, traditional, melodic, heavy metal, melodic hard rock. And again, Eric Martinson, he's got another cracking voice, really powerful voice, can hit the high notes when he needs to as well. Yeah, this is fabulous. It's another feel-good, anthemic, sing-along, choruses type band. Solid stuff, really good. Highly recommended. And yeah, at the top of the nines, this one, and then this is down to Nathan again at Metal Down Under. He showed this band, and when he described them, that got me interested, and I thought, I have to check these guys out. And it's Crazy Licks. They released this last year, Forever Wild. They've been around for a wee bit. They've been around a few years, and this is, I don't know, their third or fourth, maybe, something album. But yeah, Forever Wild, this is like the 1980s coming back, say. This is somebody who's recorded a 1980s album in 2019. This has the 80s feel-good factor, like you wouldn't believe. It's so close. And I think that's their influence is 80s rock and metal, hard rock and metal, the melodic, the Bon Jovis, the Def Leppards, the Poisons, all those, the bands with the sing-along choruses. This, I think, is where their influences have been rooted in, and this is a great album. It's so uplifting, it's so got that 80s vibe, it's just extremely enjoyable. So yeah, I'm so glad I have discovered them. Thank you, Nathan. See, the vinyl community is just fantastic. So that brings me to the 10s, and there's only one 10 actually, to be honest with you. But most of you, I think you'll know, but for me, my album of the year is this one here, Tobias Sammet's Avantasia Moonglow. 10 out of 10 album for me, an absolute 10 out of 10. There's not a note on here that I don't like. There's not a vocal on here that I don't like. And there's such a range of different styled singers as well. There's guys from heavy metal, thrashy bands and everything on here. Yeah, just Sasha Paeth, he's a guitarist. Herbie Linens, these are all the Millie Petrozza. Is he not from Creator or one of these type of bands? I don't know. Yeah, but you've got Hansi Kurch from Blind Guardian on here as well, Jean Land, Jeff Tate, Eric Martin, Bob Catley, Ronnie Atkins, Michael Kiske, and of course Candice Knight and Tobias Sammet. I mean, what a selection. This is full of superstars, and it's I can't speak highly enough. It's very orchestral, symphonic, just amazing. So yeah, it's my 10 out of 10 album. There's nothing else for me that's been released, unless I don't know about it, that's topped this one last year. So that's it. I'm gonna, it's 50 minutes. I'm sorry. When I knew I had about 30 odd albums, I thought this is not going to be as short as I'd like, but thank you for sticking with me. Really appreciate that. But now I've got that out of the road. Hopefully my up and coming videos will be a lot shorter again. So thank you all for watching. Comments, questions down below, and I shall catch us all in another video. Bye just now.